go.
All right, here we are.
Wow.
We're doing it. We got
here.
chicken fingers. Our budget is increasing.
Yeah, we got craft services.
We got craft services.
Yeah.
It's the Deli 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
And you have to pay for it.
Yeah. Ice cold buffalo chicken fingers.
Now what? Yeah, and now you told me that you think the cold chicken fingers are healthier, not in terms of calories, but in terms of COVID exposure.
Yeah, which obviously I'm way off here. Let's put the caveat of whatever I say next.
Right.
I'm entirely wrong.
Okay.
I think more people should do that, where they can talk about their stupid train of thought, but just up front they go, "This is wrong."
Well, it's because most people think they're right.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And that's I think that's civilization's problem. Society's problem.
Right.
Like, too many people think that they're way too right.
Exactly.
I am 99% sure in every context that I'm probably wrong.
Okay. That's good to know.
It's good to know. So here's my train of thought. I walked in, I saw the chicken fingers buffalo flavored, and I said, I want that. I'm ready to go. I passed by some chips, some Cheetos. I was like, no, it's not for me. I'm not feeling
You wanted a high protein snack because you have been working out, wedding in April.
I have been working out. I worked out this morning.
What you do?
I did some squats with a 15-pound weight and then a push out.
Okay.
Push in and out. And I did about 3 reps of 8, so that's 24 total.
Yeah, 3 sets of 8.
Yes, 3 sets of 8.
Yes.
Yeah. 3 sets of 8.
Okay, but we're getting terminology.
We're getting terminology. What else did I do? My trainer took it easy on me today.
You have a trainer?
I have a little digital trainer.
Oh, okay.
I got a Zoom trainer, and
do you pay money for this?
I do pay money for this.
Okay.
I pay about $60.
60?
Yeah.
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 Especially we'll talk about that off the podcast.
Yeah. Rich is about to be my
yeah, because that's one of the spits I wrote down today.
Was what?
Because my gym reopened. But yeah, we'll keep talking. We'll keep talking about your point.
Okay. So anyway, my thinking was that as soon as I took the first bite of this, I went, it's cold. And then I was like, I'm excited that it's cold.
Right.
Because for some reason, the idea of the hot food being indoors is somehow like the COVID is festering on it.
Right.
Whereas with cold food, it's almost like it's been frozen in its purity. Like it's without germs because it's so cold.
Frozen in its purity.
Yes.
You got to stop playing these Japanese video games with this horse shit English. Who the fuck says that?
Yeah. Listen. But obviously the reverse is true. Like the hot food is probably burning off all the germs, and then the cold food is just all festering in it.
Correct. Right. But it's a good chicken finger.
It's a fucking great chicken
I've been going to that deli. I've been in this neighborhood for 3.5 years.
No.
Didn't even know they sold chicken fingers. So this is news to me.
I went in there, and here's the thing, delis. Here's the thing I have a problem with most delis, and I hope they're getting all the chewing in, because this is important.
I paid $500 for this fucking microphone set. It better pick up that chewing.
I would say the chewing is the most important part of my point.
This is going to pick up a whole different demographic of people, and I don't know if they want to listen or not.
ASMR of just me chewing chicken fingers.
Yeah, we're now an ASMR golf podcast.
They're going to watch through the other episode, and they're like, I was really expecting more of Taylor chewing chicken really close to the microphone. There's not enough of Taylor just munching on snacks.
Yeah.
The point I was going to make was I went in there, and I went to the guy, and I said, hey, can I make a plate of food?
A plate of food?
A plate of food. There's a bunch of shit behind the counter. Can you throw some potato salad into the mix with some buffalo thing and then close the container and hand it to me?
Okay.
Guy looked at me like I was insane.
I would too. You don't do that at a deli, Taylor!
Why?
How long have you lived in New York?
Listen.
You can't just go ahead. There's rules in a deli. It's like baseball. There's unwritten rules.
But how do hot bars work, Rich?
But that wasn't a hot bar. If they wanted you to
just
make
saying,
your own plate, they would have
same-
put a hot bar out.
It's the same setup, though. It's collection of food. They're the ones who have to serve it to you. Why can't they just throw shit all into a container and just be like, here's the weight
Because
of
we
it.
live in a society where there's rules, and that's one of them, where you can't just ask for different things in a container like that. Grow up. Learn New York, all right? If you ask for potato salad and frozen chicken fingers, On a hero, they would have done that. But to put it in a container is ridiculous and stupid, and that's on you.
I would love the idea. Like, the guy looked at me like I was speaking in tongues. He was just like, what do you mean?
In his defense, he probably didn't speak English either.
Listen, it's like, get out of my head, because that's he did not speak
No.
very good English. But
he knows a
that
few
wasn't
things.
what I was trying to make. He really was looking at me like, what do you mean when you say you want me to put potato salad and chicken fingers together? But I do love the idea that he was like, all I had to say was make the plate bread. And he's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You want me to put some salmon in there, too, and a lobster crab cake? I thought that was the most insane thing that they sold there.
A lobster crab cake?
Yeah. It was mostly just breaded.
I would not trust a lobster crab cake in any deli, nevertheless that deli.
No. Where are they getting fresh lobster? Who's bringing in Who's bringing in lobster?
Where do they have the culinary skills to make a crab cake?
Uh-huh. I do love the idea of, like, 4 o'clock in the morning, they're opening the doors to the deli for, like, the first time, because I assume they close at this point. And there's just, like, there's, like, half a dozen lobsters, and he's like, all right, I better get to work. And we're all just sleeping on these, like, fresh lobster
they're
cakes.
amazing.
Uh-huh. But they look fucking disgusting.
Let me tell you what I don't like about that deli, all right? This is kind of a side tangent.
Deli that you have been in it.
I go, that's my go-to deli.
You just didn't know that they had chicken fingers.
I didn't know they had chicken fingers.
There you go.
I go there, and I grew up in New York. And when you grow up in New York and you go to a deli, you know exactly what you want. I want a roast beef with cheddar, mayo, lettuce, tomato, onion.
How far
Thank
in
you.
advance do you know?
I know exactly what I want walking
Like
into the deli.
a block away?
I know. I'm
Or the minute
going
you
to
leave
the
the house.
deli. Yes, I know the sandwich I want.
You go, I'm going to the deli for a roast beef sandwich as you're putting on your shoes.
Yes, that's exactly my mindset.
Okay, I get that.
And I go to this deli, and I got my head in mind, and this guy every fucking time tries to push me on the chicken cutlets.
What?
Every time.
He's pushing the chicken
He
cutlet?
pushes the chicken cutlet. He's like, I walk in.
Oh, wait. No, you got to sell me on it. Because, all right, so I'm walking in, and I go, hi, I'd like a roast beef sandwich.
I was like, hey, how you doing? Could I do a roast beef, cheddar on a hero, lettuce, tomato, onion, mayo?
Yeah.
And he goes, I just made some chicken cutlet. I'm like, all right, I'll take a roast beef cheddar on the hero. He's like, I'm just letting you know. Chicken cutlet, very fresh. As if he's being paid by, like, big chicken cutlet.
Well, it's obviously a guy who's got very, very old chicken cutlet that's about to expire.
Or he just can't stop making chicken cutlets and they're always fresh. What is this place spending on chicken cutlets?
Yeah.
He's like, please I can't stop making the chicken cutlets.
He's got a byline in his budget, and it's just like all red. It's just chicken cutlet, and it's $5,000 a month he's spending on chicken cutlet. That sounds right.
Bro, like his only commission comes off of the chicken cutlet sandwiches. Any other sandwich, he doesn't get a cut of.
He's like, between you and me, if you don't buy this chicken cutlet, I can't feed my family tonight. It's the same.
This guy also works at Harry's Italian as the waiter, pushing the eggplant.
He's got a second job where his family's meal is on the line.
I should have known. I'm like, why are you pushing this eggplant? So, you're the Seaport Deli guy.
Yeah, right. He's got a mustache. He's got a little fake mustache.
When he works at the Italian place.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh. All right, so he pushes the chicken cutlet on you.
And it's just like a back and forth. I don't want to do this. Just give me the sandwich. It's not a good sandwich.
No one has ever said, I'm ordering basic. I'm getting turkey. I'm a turkey club man.
And that's fine.
But nobody's ever like, are you sure you don't want something else?
Every time this guy pushes
I think
chicken
that's amazing
cutlet.
because I love the idea that somebody would assume that I'm uncertain ordering the most comfortable, like, staple sandwich that exists. You know what I mean? Like, I go in and I'm like, I'd like a turkey club, and they're like, are you sure you don't want roast beef? Are you sure we just sliced up some roast beef. Let's throw it in the sub for you. It's going to be great. Like, they got to upsell me on roast beef. And it's like, no, just give me my turkey. You know what I mean?
Compared to my deli on Long Island, Village Hero and Syosset, best sandwiches in the game.
Hello.
This guy, the same guy's been working the counter my whole life. 26 years.
In Syosset.
In Syosset.
Okay.
And if you don't order immediately once he looks at you, he just looks away. His sight is only, he can only, some like bats have sonar.
Yeah.
He only sees people that are ordering directly in front of him. Yeah. And if he can't see, if you don't, he can't see you.
There's this great deli that's just down the street from me, Anthony and Sons Panini, off of Graham.
Oh, my dad would not go to that place.
He would not go to that place?
Panini?
Well, it's also they have a lot of pro police and pro firefighter stuff.
He still would not go.
Really?
Because my dad thinks paninis are gay sandwiches. And it's too phallic of a name.
He doesn't like the idea of like smushed meats getting heated.
My dad is on record. There's a very good panini place in my town, La Bottega. Amazing paninis. My dad does not like going there because he feels like the sandwiches are gay. This is a fact. Even the first time he went there, my mom texted me saying, me and Dad went to La Bottega. Food good. Sangria great. Place gay. I'm like, do you know how great the sangria has to be for that not to be the gayest part of the meal?
I would love it if he took a bite of the panini and just, he took his time with his opinion and he went, this tastes like Freddie Mercury. That's my formal take. And they're just like, okay, sure, yeah, okay. See, I don't get what you're saying, but okay, yeah. It's gay, huh?
This sandwich tastes like hair pomade. The fuck's going on in the back of that counter?
Tastes like glitter tank tops.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's a good time. So anyway, I probably just ate a bunch of COVID.
Yeah, right there. What are you going to do? You probably have been for a few months.
Yeah. Friend of mine, actually a coworker of mine, got a COVID test, and he said that he's got the antibodies. So he was just like, oh, so I had it, which I forgot that's how that worked.
Yeah.
Which blows me. I haven't gotten any tests at all because it's just.
You should get a test.
Yeah, but
You should get a test.
But here's what I don't understand, and maybe you can help me.
Okay.
Maybe you can help me understand this. If you have it or you don't have it,
okay.
What do you, unless you're testing yourself like every day? So like say I got one tomorrow,
right,
and it came back negative,
right,
and then 2 days went by, and then I inadvertently got exposed by somebody,
right,
and I didn't notice the effects then for 14 days,
right.
It's sort of like I would still be behaving the exact same way that I was behaving before I got tested and then after. So it's almost like, what is kind of the point of it unless you've just left the state? So like I'm leaving the state tomorrow.
Going to New Hampshire.
I'm going to New Hampshire.
Wedding.
Yeah.
Lesbian wedding?
No.
Hampshire, though.
Lesbian wedding is my fiance's sister, and that was going to be in London. And that got pushed to next year.
I just feel like New Hampshire is the best place for a lesbian wedding.
I can see it. Yeah.
It's very woodsy. It's very calm. It's good. A lot of things are made by hand in New Hampshire. It's just a very lesbian-friendly place.
I love the idea of two lesbians sitting in a room, and they got the map of the U.S., and they're like, where's Woodsy on here?
They don't have to look on a map. They know, Taylor. They know instinctually.
Oregon and New Hampshire.
That's right. Two hotbeds for lesbianism.
So, yeah. So, basically, I kind of don't understand unless I felt like I had been exposed to it and I was showing symptoms, then I would get a test, right? To confirm that.
Or you would get an active COVID test and also an antibody test.
Well, I can understand getting an antibody test. That makes sense. Is that what you meant by getting a test?
I meant by both. You should get both. I did both.
Yeah, but so basically what I'm saying is like I don't understand the active test for COVID unless I feel like I'm showing any symptoms.
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
Because you could be asymptomatic and then you go to New Hampshire, and now you're spreading it around, and you didn't even know you had it.
Yes, that does make sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Well, science. This is Science with Taylor.
Science with Taylor. I'm learning so much. But like when I get back, our plan is to then get a test just to confirm that we weren't exposed to anybody.
That's also a good idea.
Well, we were up there. That makes sense.
All this is good ideas.
I think I inherently, it's like I'm following a schedule where I'm not chicken aside.
Chicken aside.
Imagine
you go to get tested and you have the most COVID in the world.
Yeah.
And they go, by any chance, did you eat frozen chicken fingers? And you go, I did. And they're like, now I don't want to really ask this. This might be wild. Were they buffalo chicken fingers? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, that's what saved your life. Was the buffalo.
You the regular chicken fingers, you'd be dead by now.
Right.
You would be and they've got a little poster with a bunch of biohazard warning, and it's just stock photo of chicken fingers. And then there's another one with all green check marks, and it's buffalo version of the same photo.
It's one of those line graphs where it's like, did you eat chicken fingers? Yes or no? And you go, yes.
Yeah.
Go,
were they buffalo?
Were they buffalo? Yes or no? Yes. Next line, alive. No, dead. And you're like, I knew the whole time.
I knew it. Deep in my soul, I looked at those and I went, the buffalo is going to save my life. I'm going to be alive. I'm alive today because of those buffalo.
Thank you, Seaport Deli.
Yeah, thank you, Seaport Deli. I appreciate it. Put some potato salad in that container along with the buffalo. That's my only thank you for saving my life. But also put some potato salad in there.
I don't want to ruin this for you, but they do have pretty good potato salad.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
Fuck. You know what? Maybe he knew. Maybe what he knew was like, how dare you try to tarnish the purity of my potato salad by trying to put some, trying to put some chicken fingers in there. Get the fuck out. Take your chicken fingers and
Get
go.
the fuck out.
That's why he was so confused. He speaks beautiful English. He's a beautiful understanding of the language. And the minute I said I wanted potato salad with my chicken fingers, he was like,
well, did you know this guy was a speechwriter for Obama?
Yeah.
You just pissed him off so much.
He moonlights at the Seaport Deli. Just fucking.
Right. He just loves giving cheap food to construction workers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the thrill of giving cold cooked salmon out to construction workers. What are they eating? What are construction workers eating? Sandwiches?
Yeah.
Only sandwiches?
I would say sandwiches is the number one food for the construction community.
Well, so can I tell you my alternative option if I wasn't going to get chicken fingers?
I would love to know.
They had a boli. They had a Stromboli.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I see very often.
Did you call it a bully?
Yeah, a bully.
Yeah,
like
you should get punched in the face.
No.
You should be punched in your fucking Pennsylvania face for calling a Stromboli a bully.
It's definitely a thing.
It's not a thing.
You're saying in the history.
Call in if you call it a bully.
Our numbers are the lines are open.
Lines are open.
Yeah. Bully is definitely a way to describe a correct shortening of Stromboli.
It's not.
For something as a food that sounds like a musical instrument, it deserves to have a shortening that people can respect.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it's not. Bully.
You think it's Strom?
Let me get a Strom. Don't disrespect.
Hey, let me get one of those Joey fucking pizza burritos.
I'd rather you call it that. I'd rather you call it a pizza burrito than a bully. If I worked at that deli and you walked in and you're like, hey, can I get a bully? I would take it, I'd heat it up, and then I'd put your face in it, you dumb fuck.
Listen, it was a pep and cheese bully, okay? with some red sauce.
Yeah, that's how much you know Italian food where you just call it red sauce. It's marinara, you uncultured bitch.
Yeah. Give me that chunky tomato shit. Fucking throw it on there.
That's what they probably call it in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, chunky.
Give me chunky tomato shit.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, what's that? You don't just chew up a bunch of tomatoes with some salt and spit it into a cup and then you hand it to me? You're saying that you actually make a sauce out of it? What?
Are you a Stromboli cuck?
Yeah, I'm getting cucked by Strombolis left and right. I come home and Char's in bed with the Stromboli, both smoking cigarettes.
Stromboli smoking a cigarette too?
Yeah, exactly.
Strombolis would smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
if they
absolutely.
could, they would.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Strombolis would have like a pack of cigarettes rolled up into their dough, like it's up in their sleeve.
Right.
So yeah, Stromboli was my second pick, but it was just the idea of like it's gonna be cold, and I hadn't had it in so long that I was like, it's probably gonna ruin it for me because I want like a hot, fucking sliced up Boli.
Right.
That's, you know what? Make fun of me all you want, but when I think about fucking slicing up a hot Boli and getting some hot cheese coming out of there, I'm excited. And when you say we're cutting up some Stromboli, I'm like, no, it's too formal.
You just made Stromboli sound like how closeted gay men talk to each other in the 50s.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I'm trying to cut up a Stromboli
Yeah.
and put cheese in it. And they're like,
in my butt.
I got you. I got what you're saying.
Try to cut up a fresh Stromboli and put it in my butt. How about that?
How about those apples?
How about those apples? Neighbor man, whose my kids are friends. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, gay men in the 50s.
Yeah,
I don't know.
these men
I
can
assume
meet
they were
however
all
they
neighbors
want.
and just banging. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but okay.
I don't know. I'm not very. I would say there's a big gap in my pop culture knowledge leading into the 50s. 60s, yeah. 40s, definitely.
50s, you're lost.
It's 30s and 50s. I have no fucking clue what happened in those decades. Korean War?
No.
50s? 50s, definitely.
Korea, I thought, was late 60s, early 70s.
That's Vietnam.
Ah. Then Korea's later.
No, Mad Men. I really know it.
Mad Men was 60s.
My uncle served in Korea, so.
Yeah, my grandfather. I should probably know this.
Yeah, right. But what I'm saying is Mad Men leads into the early 60s, and he fought in Korea.
Okay. That's right. Don Draper stole the identity.
That's it.
Sorry if I just spoiled Mad Men for you.
Yeah, the first
fucking 15 years old.
First fucking 5 episodes of Mad Men.
Yeah.
You're pack it in. You don't need to watch the rest of the 7 fucking seasons of it.
Here's another bit. He tries to sell a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Sorry if I spoil that for you.
Succeeds incredibly well. Oh, I'm getting
What's happening?
So today at work, we don't talk about this.
So now you had a big presentation.
I had a big prees, guys. Big pre.
If you keep fucking abbreviating words.
A fucking huge Prezi today. A massive There's tiny flames in both of Rich's eyeballs. he's packing it up. We're done here.
I know I'd fucking hate working at your company because you're the funny guy there. And I fucking hate working there.
You hate the idea that I thrive in the culture of my company?
Yeah. Because I know this is why you did the whole presentation today, was because your CEO still thinks you do stand-up.
Yeah, well, so it wasn't the stand-up part, but yes, I'm sure if I asked him, he'd be like, yeah, you're still doing that, right? Obviously, I'm not. Notoriously, I'm building my brand around being # the failed comedian. What do you think about that?
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty not bad. So I got asked last week by the CMO of the company, of the U.S., to be like, they were like, oh, this dude he hates working from home. He is having.
I was real nervous when you said hate. I gripped onto my leg a little bit too tight when you started that. I was like, oh
boy. Oh god. Yeah, just blank out what I said. It just insert ethnic group.
Right.
No, he hates working from home. So he basically invited 50 people into a Zoom call with the idea of he was like, I wanted to kind of feel like how we were all goofing around, and like he was basically like, I need to hang out with you guys for a little bit. For
this
myself.
is a mentally ill person.
It's a mentally what's it, like, dehydrated person who like needs good like social interaction. That was it. Like, I'm not throwing him on the bus. I can empathize with a guy who's just sitting at home and just being like for how much bullshit he has to go through, and just meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, just being like, so much of the job has become people going, I want to just hang out with my coworkers a little bit because I like, like we have a really good company culture. So anyway, all that aside,
we've been on record that I really don't understand how you can like coworkers.
I love them.
I've had one real office job, and it was the worst thing in the world.
Do not get me wrong. I am in such an anomaly of a situation. Like, there are people who I've talked to who are like, I like 2 or 3 of my coworkers, and I spend all my time with them. And I'm like, that's great. But like, I got onto a call with 50 people today, and I looked out, and I was like, I like 50 of these people.
That's disgusting.
Isn't that insane?
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel that way.
I know. It's unnatural.
You should get the invite for the Zoom meeting and then hit decline.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
That's what a normal person would do.
But instead what happened was he was like, oh, we want everybody to do like a fun like recap of what's going on with them. And then
what's going on with you?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's a pandemic.
Yeah.
What's going on with me? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's going on, Doug. You want to have a fun time? You want to have a call to hear me say I'm doing nothing?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I would have got on that call and said, oh, what's been going on with me? I don't know. 200,000 Americans died. That's what's been going on, Doug.
Well, listen. I threaded the needle, Rich. I threaded it. I did such a good job of not pretending like everything was great in my life, but also not that everything was so terrible that everybody's like, oh, you're just being a fucking bummer. Because you would have been a goddamn bummer on that Zoom call.
I wouldn't have been in the call.
Right. That's just where we don't see eye to eye.
You know how many happy hours I got invited to at work? And they're like, do you want to come? And I said,
goose egg.
I said,
did you
no.
get invited to a lot?
I got invited to a lot. I said, nope. And they were like, oh, why? And I would say, I'm busy, which is true. I was doing stand-up at the time.
Yeah.
And the truth was, I'm busy. And also, I have no interest in knowing who you are. I like what we have here. I know your first name and maybe your last. I'm not sure on the last, but I think I know you. I think I know it, but I'm not sure. And let's keep it at this.
Hey, listen. You know what? From the fucking like 2 or 3 episodes ago, we had such a good varying point about you went off on such a like you got so heated about it, but it was like the difference between why what I focused on when I did stand up and then what you focused on, and you're just like, I'm just there to tell the jokes. I could care less who's in the room.
Yep.
And my entire stance was always, I could care less what my jokes are. I just want everybody's approval.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. Like, if I got on stage and just farted into the microphone and everybody just laughed really hard, I'd be like, yeah, that
would also
good.
be better than 95% of the sets I've seen if you just farted into the mic.
I know. But that was the thing. It became so overwhelming to constantly walk into rooms and just be like, not only do I want everybody's approval, but I will destroy myself mentally if I do not get that approval. So when I tell you that I had a 3-minute presentation to give today, and I had like pain the entire day. I had nothing but pain. It was like I was fucking like queasy, shitting constantly. I shit like 4 times today. Preparing for to be silly.
You nervous shit?
I nervous shit so hard. The idea of public speaking, having done stand-up for 2 years, I fucking hate it more than anything in the world.
Really?
I hate it.
You're very good.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I hate it.
It's also not public speaking, what you did today.
They handed me. I had prepared things that I presented to a group of people. That would be. I mean, it's not public speaking. It's Zoom speaking. But, like, they were like, Taylor has an allotted amount of time during this meeting. It's not like I just interrupted somebody and started saying.
If you were to shut your computer off the screen, would it have been better?
No, because it's... So, here's what it is.
Okay.
It's the eyes and it's the projected opinions that I'm worried people are going to have if I like fumble, if I don't say something right, if I like say a word wrong, if I don't say it correctly, that will roll around in my brain. It's been rolling around in my brain for a whole week.
Okay.
Leading up to this. It's just this idea of like, I know it's funny. What I presented today, I knew was funny. But like, I presented it to my boss. She fucking was howling, laughing.
You had to present this before you did it.
So the whole setup here was like, this is unprecedented. Like, I've never seen anybody get asked to do this, or just basically it was like they were just like, Taylor, say something funny for 4 minutes on this call.
Okay.
That was the ask. And they were like, recap what's going on with you. Tell us something that you're excited about. Like whatever, you know, it's like I was just filler. I was the halftime show for kind of a stupid marketing meeting.
Okay.
And so when I told my boss this, because I just got asked directly, when I asked my boss this, she was like, why? Why are you being asked to do this? Why is this happening? You know, it's kind of weird. It's very weird. Anyway, it was just, my boss was like, well, let's run through what you're thinking before you just jump into this meeting and just fucking start saying random shit.
Yeah, so you open with all your dead dad material.
Yeah, so my dad's dead.
So I got a Lego man tattooed on my leg, and you're like, Taylor, what's that next to? My dead dad's signature.
My dead dad's signature. Cancer, ever heard of it?
Cancer, ever heard of it? That you just do a...
Baba Booey, you know, like...
and then you have a pinwheel hat on and you just spin it.
And then I just do a Benny Hill bit and I start running side to side with my camera. No, but it was three. I was like tops. I'm doing four minutes of like, all I had to say was talk about how I got a stupid tattoo. Patrick was sick and now he's feeling better. And then I had this joke about like how I like put up a copy of my credit card statement, and it's just this scroll of nothing but seamless orders. And the whole bit was like,
is that real?
Well, no, I mean, yes, I did pull a snippet where I just searched all my seamless orders, so I got like a full listing, but it made it look like I had ordered like 85 things of seamless.
Okay.
And it was my
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, like it's funny. And Patrick's the bit was like, now that Patrick's feeling better, I have 700 photos of my dog if anybody wants them. I can just send them out. Like that's just that thread in the needle shit of like, people expected so little or were so confused on what the graphic designer of the company was going to say that they were just like, anything was fine. I could have probably farted, and they were like, that's fantastic. You've done an amazing job.
This is how I know you're not a real comedian. This is how I know right here.
Yeah.
It's because if you did that seamless thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It would be like 80 things of seamless, and within those seamless things, you put like razors, rope,
Yeah.
just little Easter eggs.
Nitrous canisters.
Right, just a little bit here. That's how I know if you were a real comedian. But no, you're like, isn't it weird that I ordered gyoza 3 times in a week? Isn't that a little odd?
Listen, yeah. All that I'm saying is, as soon as it was done, it was like, it was round of applause. Everybody lost their mind. And obviously for me, I could care less what I actually said. I got the results from it. I got the approval of of my peers, which I care about. And it was just like, I was just like, everything was worth it. It was great. But at the same time, I was also like, the fact that I cared so much about that approval, I was like, oh yeah, there's a reason why I'm not still pursuing comedy. Because it's just like, it's like having never done heroin. It's the closest thing that I have to heroin. It's just all I'm doing is chasing this stupid like dopamine rush of people going, good.
Right.
Good job.
Right.
You did it. Like check. Like it's a checkbox. It's never. It's truly never me going, I don't care what they said. I know it's good. And so if they don't like it, then it's their fault. I really walked around today saying that if they didn't like it, it was my fault.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole psychological thing.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
100%. Do you think people, before they give TED Talks, have aggressive diarrhea because they're worried that the 100,000 people are going to judge them?
Probably.
You think that that's what happened? I asked Char that today. I was like, do you think people who do TED Talks just are as
I would say a lot.
in as much gastric distress as I am right now?
Well, I mean, the number one fear is public speaking.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. And the fact that I walked away and numerous people were like, well, obviously you got to do that again. I was almost like, I wish I had done a bad job a little bit so that they wouldn't have asked me to do it again.
This is what my mindset on public speaking, stand-up, all of that, is you're expected not to do well. So if you do well,
I don't agree with that.
You're playing with house money.
I don't.
Because people are so like, how can you do that?
Yes, certain people, the more personally they know you, yes. But it's like the general vibe and the general opinion is like kind of like I would say it's closer to like the America's Got Talent crowd where they're just going, we just saw a guy juggle 19 chainsaws. What do you got? What are you doing? That was always the vibe that I kind of picked up, which was a bunch of people who were going, it's not that I'm expecting you to do bad. It's just the bar is kind of locked in and I'm not going to lower that bar. So try to do really good.
Oh, I see it the complete other way around.
You think people set really low bars for?
It's not a low bar. There's no bar.
There's no bar.
Most, especially when it comes to stand-up, and I try not to talk about stand-up that much here, but no one really knows like an average person doesn't know stand-up. I know what good stand-up is, but then you see like a hack act to go up and people are dying. It's because they don't really know what good stand-up is.
But people like to think that they know good stand-up.
I disagree. People are just like, listen, I like to laugh. Whatever's going to make me laugh.
I think the idea that people have favorite stand-ups.
Most people don't. Most people's favorite stand-ups are Chappelle, Gaffigan, Louis.
Yeah.
Right. If I come up to you, I'm like, my favorite is Nate Bargatze.
Yes.
They'd be like, I don't even know.
Right.
Because they don't know what good stand-up is. They don't know.
But it's the idea of like you are the guy who at the record store knows the mixtapes and shit. You're the guy who knows like the EPs of like comedians way before they got big that are like thriving in that, and you seem to be not judgmental, but you certainly have a stance on the people who just want to hear a really good Beatles record. No, and they go, my favorite musician is the Beatles, and you're kind of like, well, you don't understand music. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like.
No, it's just like you don't really have like, I don't know. I might just drop, because if I go really into this, I could speak about this for 10 hours.
It's going to be
right. I could speak about this forever. But yeah, really what I'm trying to say is that people don't know what good is until you put it in front of them.
Absolutely.
So
okay, I can see that.
If you just went up, you would do well.
Yeah.
If you went up after Andrew Schultz, you probably won't do well. Because now the bar is set.
But see, and then my dumb guy brain, again, caveat, I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong in this. My brain would go, if I were to follow a guy like Andrew Schultz and then didn't do well, it's because I did something wrong, and that they're, it's like it's so black and white of like, you either go, they're wrong and I'm right, or they're right and I'm wrong.
Okay.
And I've always, from the minute I started doing comedy, I always felt like I walked away being like, either I am wrong or just close to right. I've never walked off a stage and felt like I did it right. Maybe once. Maybe one time.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's wild. But yes, so I did very well on my Prezi today.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay.
all of that's getting cut.
No, that'll keep it in. We'll keep that in.
Oh God.
Anything else?
I'm trying to think. No, I mean that's pretty much it. I was viciously hungover on Monday.
Okay.
Shar and I've been playing tennis a lot.
Yes. I think you talked about that last episode.
Did I tell you about playing tennis and feeling the most privilege I've ever felt in my life?
First of all, where's the tennis?
The tennis is off of, I believe it's off of Malcolm X Boulevard in Bushwick.
Already not a good start.
Not a great start. We were playing, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't believe I haven't brought this up yet. But Shar and I are playing, we're like hitting the balls around, and then, and like the tennis courts are basically fenced in. Like it's like a big, it's like 4 courts and then like big fences.
Of course.
And then we kind of look, we look out and we're like hearing all this music playing, and there's a Black Lives Matter protest going by us, and just the optics on a chain link fence separating 2 white people playing tennis. Wow, there's a Black Lives Matter protest going on 20 feet behind those fences. We just kind of looked at each other and we're like, this just isn't a good look for us. Like, let's just.
So you walked over to the basketball courts and you're like, this is better.
Yeah.
This is better for the cause.
Yeah.
And every shot you just went, Kobe.
Yeah. We just kept looking at each other, being like, can we kind of like root for you guys? Can we cheer you on? And you know what I mean? That's just, I feel like that should have been the case. We should have been like, can we do anything that doesn't require us to leave this fence right now? Like, who do we call? I don't know.
You guys just see the Black Lives Matter protest walk by, and over there chanting, you go, we love the Williams sisters.
Yeah.
Serena and Venus.
Blackish is a great show. That was...
Not a lot of tennis in it.
Not a lot of tennis in it. Yeah, right. Oh, I didn't realize we were doing a tennis thing. That makes more sense than what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
We just started throwing
When I
it all
said
out.
the Williams sisters, you laughed like...
I didn't understand.
Other people will think that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't get it. That was that laugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sports are,
I do that a lot.
Yeah, what are you going to
do? Yeah. So it was just very funny for like 5 minutes. We were just like, oh, we're not.
And you still played.
Oh, yeah. We played through. We're not going to, we took a revel like 30 minutes to get to this tennis court.
This city's falling apart, man. That's the problem with people not from New York, is that they don't understand that you shouldn't play tennis in Bushwick.
Well, here's the thing. We have a tennis court that's like 5 blocks from our apartment. But it's...
And first off, you still shouldn't play tennis there. These are not tennis.
Where should we play tennis?
Where should we play tennis? Upper East Side. Upper West Side.
Going into Manhattan to fucking hit balls around for 45 minutes.
Well, then pay more for rent or don't play tennis. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't live this bougie lifestyle.
I like that your takeaway is be richer. Be richer.
Yes, be richer. Here's a story we didn't say. I went to Taylor's 2 days ago, and he said, hey, was the woman outside?
Yeah.
And I said, what woman? And you said, oh, the crack addict that stays in the hallway?
In our defense, first time she was ever there. But yes, there was a woman in our vestibule.
Vestibule, that's the word I was looking for. Very good.
Yeah.
That's a tennis word.
No.
Yeah, you could play tennis and use vestibule.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
That's a $10 word. Apparently, you need $10 to play tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lady. I went out to walk Patrick. No one in the vestibule. 10 minutes later, come back with Patrick, and there's this woman who she's got a plastic bag filled with clothing propping open the door, and she's just curled in the corner cleaning something, and a lighter's visible.
Which we later figured out crack pipe.
Yeah, crack pipe. Could be meth. She was not spicy enough to be meth.
People don't usually do meth around here. That's why I just don't know if it was meth.
It's interesting. It's interesting. How isn't meth a thing?
White woman?
Yes, white lady. That's
it makes it better odds for meth,
what I mean?
but I still think it's crack. Brooklyn, I'm going to say it's crack.
Yeah, could be heroin. I don't know.
Could be heroin. Let's not exclude it.
And listen. Obviously, it's probably not the case, but she could have been doing no drugs, and she could have just been having a bad day. Probably
Let me
not.
tell you about a thing about people that have bad days. They don't sit in vestibules and clean small
With a lighter out.
Small pipes with a lighter out.
Yeah.
They usually do things like get a little too drunk or yell at someone.
I will never forget the tone that she had, and I pray that I capture it right now, because I walked towards her, and this is such a testament to me not being able to just tell somebody to fuck off. I walked up to her in the vestibule, and I was like, "Hey, are you waiting for somebody?"
Yeah.
That was my like giving her the benefit of the doubt of being like, "Hey, lady, cleaning a pipe in the fucking vestibule."
This is the problem with you cuck liberals, is that you see a woman cleaning a crack pipe in your vestibule and you're like, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. When really, she's a mess. And mentally ill, probably.
Yeah, probably mentally ill.
Yeah, but I don't give people that clean crack pipes in my apartment the benefit of the doubt.
Right. And it was so funny because she kind of darted up at me for a second, and then she was like, "Yeah." She was basically like, "Yeah, I am." She was like, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah, you know who I'm waiting for? Satan to take me. And you just go, all right, well I guess I'm not going inside.
And no, well, here was the best part, is that I said, "Are you waiting for somebody?" And then she said, "Yes." And then I proceeded to walk into the vestibule with her.
That's good.
The door closed on the both of us. And then I punched in the keypad for my apartment and then opened the door. I didn't let her in. And then I just let the door click behind me. And it was just the idea of like, we were basically in an elevator together for like 30 seconds while she's still cleaning this pipe.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, I wonder when she's gonna leave. I hope that she cleans her crack pipe quickly and then leaves, because that's the best you can hope for, is that she just gets her shit done and doesn't start smoking crack in our fucking vestibule."
No one's ever cleaned a crack pipe in a vestibule and also was on a schedule.
Yeah, and then was also like, "Well, my job's done here. I got a clean pipe. Let's be on our way to it."
Oh, that's right. I had that appointment at 4:30. Yeah, that's right. I got to hurry this up.
Listen, I'm at location A for the crack smoking experience. Now I need to move to location B to smoke said crack. You know, she's got a laminate. She's got a laminate of her day. No, Shar.
Her CMO didn't send her a Zoom link. Let me tell you that.
Exactly. Yeah, Shar called me 5 minutes later because she was at the grocery store. She's coming back, and she's like, "There's a woman in the vestibule." I was like, "Oh yeah, I know. I had to walk by her." She's like, you just walked through her?" And I was like, yeah. She's like, "All right, well, she's clearly like about to do drugs." So, big strong man that I am, I walked up.
And thank God you have a 15-pound dog.
Oh, well, thank God. Yeah.
Who barks at everything but this woman.
I walked. Yeah, of course. Patrick was like, "Friend, you smell familiar." Like in his former life, he was around a
lot of crack.
He was a crack den. He was definitely a crack den dog in Florida. I walked up to where the glass door is locked. So even if she had a problem, she could not get into the door unless she knew the code.
Right.
And I was just like, "You gotta go." It was just a complete 180 from being like, "All right, well, I hope things work out," like getting into being like, "You gotta fucking go." And she's like, "Mind your fucking business, like fuck you." And I was like, "Okay, I'm calling the cops." And she's like, "Great, call the cops." And I'm like, "Great, I'm calling the cops." And then she's literally like, as she's going, "Fuck yeah, call those fucking cops," she's literally stuffing everything into a bag. She's just like, yeah, bring the cops over. And then she's literally just packed all of her shit. And this is so great. She turned to me and she was like, "You know, people are so cruel. If you were trying to get into my building, I would have let you in.
And that's why you're homeless."
Yeah, and I was literally like, "Then you should go to your apartment. Go to where you live." And she was like, "I'm fighting with my mom." And I was like, "What is happening?" This guy
have jumped into...
This has derailed so quickly. Like, you got a backstory for your backstory of you just cleaning a crack pipe. Right. You couldn't just say, I'm cleaning a crack pipe, and I would have been like, "You need to do that somewhere else." And she fucking shuffles out, takes a hard left out the door, and tries to immediately get into the apartment next door. That was... Yeah. And then apparently she was just like out in the open, just fucking cleaning the rest of the crack pipe. I just fucking love the idea that she was like, "I can't get into my building. I'm fighting with my mom." And just maybe...
she turned real emo real quick. It might have been heroin.
Yeah, it might have been heroin.
Yeah, the way she reacted, it might have been heroin. This is how you really would have known what drug she was on. If you had a guitar and just played a quick... quick melody.
What, Oasis?
Yeah, just play a
How
little.
she responds to Oasis determines what drugs she's on.
Right.
Mushrooms, acid, weed. She'd be like, fuck yeah, Wonderwall, baby. Meth, heroin, crack. She's like, fuck you, play something more aggressive. Motorhead.
That's why
Motorhead.
Spotify was actually invented to test what drugs people were on.
Yeah.
It's any song you could play just to see what drug you're on.
A weed checkpoint, like a DUI for weed, is just
just dirty heads.
It's just a cop going around with an iPhone speaker playing Wonderwall, and then it's just they catch a guy, hey maybe, gonna be one that saves me, and they're putting handcuffs on him. As soon as the music stops, he's like, oh shit, they got me. Fuck. So dumb.
This brings me this whole liberal mindset that New York has, which is like it's too extreme liberal. I was watching a pornography, Taylor. I was watching a pornography
on the Pornhub.com.
I don't remember what site.
You have multiple sites that you couldn't recall where you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Continue.
Probably there. So I was watching a pornography.
Okay.
And it was a black guy, white girl.
Okay.
And she kept calling him the N-word as they were having sex. And she kept saying it. And in my mind, I swear to God, I thought, I hope her work doesn't see this. Not because she's in a pornography, because she's using a racial slur.
I would love that. She files for unemployment, and they're just like, well, what happened? They're just like, well, I was in a porn. They're like, ooh, I totally understand. And then they were like, and I said the N-word a bunch of times. They're like, Jesus Christ. Well, obviously that's going to affect your career.
Like her work caught her for porn the first time, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you not sex positive?
And they're like,
at this company?
They're like, okay, but I would say that this is far outside the realm of what we're comfortable with. And then they're like, oh, and you threw in the N-word? Well, obviously that's a double whammy. Like, we cannot.
She caught them in this liberal pickle where they're like, oh, I mean, we don't want to be sex negative. We don't want to be sex negative. Come off as that. We do support sex workers here. I would like if she was like a CPA too, like a real had a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She was doing it. It was her passion to do porn on the side.
Right. It was like she
could afford not to do porn, but she wanted to do porn for fun.
Right. She was very sex positive. She also had an accent that I couldn't put my finger on, which was also distracting.
Okay. I'm not going to try to guess.
Yeah, it was maybe South African or Finnish. It was one of those.
Did it strike you as this was a kink?
It was definitely a kink for people. I don't know, maybe if it's for black guys that want a white woman to call them the N-word. Maybe white women who want to call black guys the N-word.
To somehow feel more powerful. Just fucking.
No idea what the kink was. All I know is I was confused.
Yeah. And maybe that was the kink all along.
It was an Inception porn where you look internally.
It's the guy who's like, I don't understand what I'm watching, but I'm very aroused right now.
That would be good if it was the new sexual harassment training for work. They show you this porn and they go, what was wrong in this video? And I would have been like, that she called him the N-word, and they were like, correct. That was the wrong part of this.
And somebody's like, well, they finally catch somebody. They're just like, well, I had an issue with the fact that it was a white guy and a black guy and a white girl, and they're just like, get out of here, Kyle. You're fucking done. That was the one thing that you were like, you couldn't talk about, and you just brought that up. You're the reason why we're doing this training.
And then someone writes in, because it's not both men, and they're like, that's also acceptable.
That's also
acceptable now.
That's interesting. I would love it if they were just like, well, they're not step siblings, and they're like, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. That one's right on the line. Well, like how every other porn that seems to show up is just like step siblings banging each other.
This isn't even a joke. This is something I just got a notification for my current day job. I got a notification that there's now a sexual harassment training for this year. I have to take a sexual harassment virtual course.
Okay.
I have no idea what to expect since we aren't allowed in the office in the past 6-7 months.
It should be basically it's like all it should be like a 3-hour lecture on dick pics and like the horribly inappropriate and it just boils down to like never ever send one, and they just say that for 3 hours straight. They're just like, just don't. Whatever you think you're gonna do it, and they go through a million situations where they're just like, your coworker said that you looked nice today. Should you send her a dick pic? No. Stop.
This is what I think a 2020 sexual harassment course should be.
Yeah.
It should be one of those scenarios they put and they go, everyone is in a Zoom conference.
Yeah.
And Evan notices that Jennifer's blouse is unbuttoned.
Yeah.
He messages her on Slack and says, hey, nice tits. Should Evan have said that? That's what a sexual harassment course is now in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? There's a lot of dudes who are still going to fail that course. There's a lot of dudes who'd be like...
and a lot of CEOs that would agree.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of dudes who try to fill in their own answer, and they're just like, no, I'd say those are fucking great tits. You know, like, it's not, hey, nice tits. It's, those are fucking great. It's like, you're not using the correct verbiage that I would use in the situation. Can I just correct you? I would say those are fucking rockin' tits.
I like how this guy sounds like he works at an automotive.
Yeah.
He's a mechanic that works remote.
It's actually the mayor of Jersey.
Oh,
it's the Jersey mayor.
The governor of Jersey?
The TLC media coordinator. The guy who's sourcing all that stuff. He's just like, oh, fucking nice tits. The
TLC creative director, every time they're like, we need a new show idea, he's like, yeah, how about girls that work in the office with sweet tits?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
What do you how about just girls and I don't know, wet shirts and they work here. What?
He goes to their HR director. He's like, "Can I make a movement?" And they're like, "This isn't a court of law." And he's like, "I'm gonna make a movement here for a second.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah. Can I make a motion?" Yeah, he doesn't even call it by the right word. Yeah. Can I make a movement?
Objection, Your Honor. And it's the HR rep just being like, "This is like the third warning."
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, man.
Objection.
And he's just
let the record show.
I like to make a motion that I like to call tits cans from now on.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like to file a motion for no bras in this office. Huh? Let's get rid of them. Huh? Who's with me? And he's by himself with the HR.
No, everyone else is in back of him. They're like, yeah. Let's do it.
Everybody. Yeah. He's totally steamrolled the sexual harassment training. What do we want? Cans.
When do we want them? Whenever my wife will take down the divorce.
Yeah. Occasionally on my birthday.
That's fun. We did it.
We did it with almost zero preparation.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty good.
Chicken fingers to cans.
We didn't even talk about my ribs.
Hey, how were they?
I haven't eaten them yet.
You haven't eaten the ribs?
Nah. I'm going to make a sauce after this. I got a whole plan.
Got a whole thing.
Yeah, I made Chinese spare ribs. I'm very excited. Made a dry rub and everything.
All right, we're gonna
fell off the bone.
We're going to do the first Patreon episode just about
the ribs. Just about the ribs.
Just about the fucking spare ribs. I love it. All right,
team. Pleasure as always.
Smash it. Oh, this is the Happy Hour, by the way.
Yeah, right. By the way, this is the Happy Hour. Thanks for listening.
I fucking love that you're incapable.
Listen, by now, if you don't know what you're listening
to. We've gone like 9 episodes. You've done an intro maybe twice.
If you've gone this far deep into the internet, you're that woman smoking crack in Taylor's Vestibule.
Yeah. And she's just watching for that bit, and she's just like, Vestibule. That's the word. That's
what she wanted to call.
That's what I was. It was on the fucking tip of my crack pipe. Damn it!
That's fun.
Pretty good. All right.
Team. Adios.
Bye.